Hello, my name is Alexander Red, and today I'm here to interview Mr. Patrick K. Manjoe. As you are aware, or some of you are aware, Mr. Manjoe is a veteran Liberian broadcast journalist, and Mr. Patrick Manjoe is a renowned Liberian broadcast journalist. He is known for his multi skills in not just the studio broadcasting, where programs like Infomix News Magazine or co-hosting the Cyrus Pass Show with Cyrus Badio, but he's also known as a sports broadcast commentator, giving play-by-play description. And we grew up admiring Mr. Manjoe all along in his broadcasting career. And so the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, under the director or direction or leadership of Mr. Joe S. Mason, requested that we highlight or reflect on Mr. Manjoe's broadcast legacy. And we will have this interview with him today. We know that he has been in the profession for decades now. And with he sharing light or shedding light on his profession, it will give the motivation to the young generation who are watching now to take broadcast journalism very seriously. And so we'll bring on Mr. Manjoe now. Welcome to our broadcast, Mr. Manjoe.
Thank you, Alex. Good to be here.
Great, 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 great. Now, you are a renowned veteran in broadcast journalism, and the ALJA administration had requested to contact you, and so we can celebrate your legacy in your career. You have done well in service to the Liberian people when it comes to public broadcasting, and many admire you for not just the studio programs that you host or co-host, but also your skill in commentating play-by-play description at the Anthony Toppin Stadium and even at the new stadium. And so today we want to start first of all um, to know what motivated you into broadcast or to get into broadcast journalism.
Well, I will probably call myself a chameleon. To say that because my idea into broadcasting went in a different direction. Um, Everywhere I lived, whatever I saw there that was important, I thought that should be my profession. I lived in Westwa in the Tamamani area for 5 years. And the only way in and out of the Westwa was by airplane. And I always thought I would be a pilot.
Hmm.
Then when I left Westwa, I came back to Monrovia. I started reading newspapers and listening a lot to the radio stations like ERBC. And that was in 1973. And that's when my whole idea changed. That what you think? I think I should become a journalist or a broadcaster.
Mhm. And so before getting into broadcasting itself at ELBC, I understand you had a group, and this group used to also go to from campus to campus recording various events to be broadcast. What is the name of that group, and what was your experience, overall experience, and who were involved in that group that prepared the way for your official duty or responsibility at ELBC?
You talking about the voice of We 5? That was our group
Yes, yes,
in
yeah, the voice of
Logitown.
We 5.
Where I grew up. I grew up in Logitown. And the voice of We 5 was a group that we organized. I included my cousins and many other friends of ours. The late Gabriel Kaju, the late Charles Crawford, his sister Elizabeth, and many other guys, and they were all in the organization.
Hmm.
The late Tommy Reyes was our sponsor, and he would come there and we had meetings. He would tell us what broadcasting is all about, and every one of the people broadcasters what we had to do,
Hmm.
and that kind of prepares some of us in the direction of broadcasting.
Yeah.
I think you know Gabriel very well.
Yes, yes. I know Gabriel Kodakachu, the late Gabriel Kodakachu.
Yeah. So the two of us from the organization went into broadcasting and went for LBS.
Okay, and it was a good thing that Tommy Rains came along to tutor and help you guys uh, realize what it means to be in broadcast journalism, and some of the tips and other things that he shared with you help you a whole lot. So that was before 1982, and you officially began with ERBC in 1982, and you started as a broadcaster on the air. Now, what was it like? What was your experience? What are some of the memories that you can share with us uh, at ERBC?
Before really starting with many of our materials that we recorded for the voice of We Five, there were a lot of people who helped us along the way. Gabriel, I don't know where he is right now. Patrick Kuman is in Minnesota. You know, they help us along the way getting some of our materials on air. So, and then later on in school, I was a part of the high school special, which was to report for the high school.
Hmm.
And I was selected at one point as the best reporter for the week.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and many of the guys at LBS saw me and thought that I had the potential
Hmm.
of becoming a good broadcaster. And so they put an interest in me. Told me, what a guy named Patrick Cooper was one of them.
Hmm.
Actually, I met him uh, at a program I both went. And I used to be my friend. And so I used to go by his house to visit him, and we'll go out hanging out. And one time he took me to ELCM. I don't know if you know, but that time radio original used to be called ELCM.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And they were thinking about opening a station. When he took me there, he was training the guys there to open the station. Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
And I just said he wanted training as well.
Wow. But it was true that from what I see so far, other people along the way help you. Tommy Rains came your way from the
Yeah,
beginning. Patrick Kuhlman came your way, and so you begin to build your skills gradually as you listen. But that, of course, requires you to pretty much listen well and get all the tips you needed, and that, of course, help you
yeah,
to be a full broadcaster. Now, on the other side of just not just the um, regular, announcer or broadcaster or programs, but you had the Infomix program as a host. You hosted Infomix, and you also co-hosted the Cyrus Pass Show, which was somehow a comedian kind of a program, comedy.
Yeah,
Um, and a lot of people fell in love with that program. But the Infomix program was a news magazine program, and
yeah.
that program, of course, became very, very popular. And you have a variety of hosts on that co-host for that program. And I understand it was developed later on into Infomix. There was a program before the program was existing, but with different name, and it developed into Infomix.
Yeah, yeah. The program was there for many, many years. It was called The Morning Show for many years. But then at one point, the management decided, well, let's also present a same show in the afternoon and in the evening.
Mhm.
I said, but we can do that, but we cannot call it the morning show. They knew without faith. So we started, brainstorming on how to call it.
Mhm.
And that's how we came with the information.
Good, good.
Then we had to also change the format a little bit.
Okay. And even running program like hosting program like Infomix requires a lot. That is, you got to gather the news, you got to
Yeah,
write your script, and you got to ready for production and then going live on the air. And sometimes it becomes very nerve wracking or
oh, sure,
overwhelming. Yeah. So, what were some of your challenges that you can share with our watching audience now, and when it comes to such program, producing program, gathering the material, and then having deliver uh, over the air.
it's something that I learned from the OANs, like Tommy, Gabriel Dimland, and Patrick Kuman, and all that. That you have to be focused. You have to be hardworking.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't just there's no shortcut. There's no shortcut to the profession. So I didn't take any shortcut. Sometimes I spent hours, hours in the studio trying to perfect what I was doing.
Mhm.
Even after producing it, put it on the air, I also recorded it. And I still wasn't happy with it. I still wasn't happy. And I listened to it and listened to my mistakes and look forward to making that correction the next time.
Mhm. So it took hours and hours, and that, of course, takes discipline.
Yeah,
Yes, to be focused is to be disciplined. That's very important. And so, what about the Cyrus Pass show? I know you guys used to make people laugh a lot.
yeah.
You talk about common things that people go through, everyday routine that people go through, and people saw that show as um, a place where they listen to a whole variety of day-to-day activities of people, and it just made them laugh. Now, what motivated both of you to get into that program?
I always tell people that the Sirens Festival
Mhm.
was an accident. We didn't plan it. Cyrus came from America on a short vacation. And so I was doing the morning show on the FM.
Mhm.
So I told him to come over so I could talk to him about his trip. Yeah, I just gone to Israel. He and the late Tommy Reigns. And then went to America. and we talk about the trip, and that day we just have fun, freestyle. Then we say, can we do it again tomorrow? He said, okay, I'll do it tomorrow again. And he came away again, we did the same thing.
Mhm.
We started putting in topics here and there, and people started calling in here and there. And Tommy Reed is our boss, and he said, well, this sounds good. Can y'all do a program format and do it 3 times a week? So, all right, we put my program format together, and we did it. We started doing it 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Wow. And apparently, because the show started off well, and that's why they gave you more time to do that. And
Yeah,
that goes back to the focus you were talking about, and also spending more hours and perfecting your skill.
yeah,
So, well, what we learned is that you need, if you want to be a good broadcast journalist, you have to spend more time on what you do. You got to be focused on the material in gathering that, and spend hours in perfecting your or crafting what you want to do, and then before you do that delivery, and that takes a lot of discipline as a whole. Now, with your experience with the new magazine program Infomix, as well as co-hosting with Sarah's Batio on the Sarah's Pass show, let's look at sports. Soccer is a very, very important sport in our country. Now, you and Sarah's and other commentators did play-by-play description, and we would listen. And even Liberians still have some of your old tapes, some of your recordings, and listen to it
yeah,
from time to time. Now, that is a whole legacy. And I remember recently the president, George Weah, in a photo with Cyrus Badio. Cyrus Badio had met him, and Cyrus Badio extended an invitation for President Weah to appear on the Cyrus Pass show, which is still ongoing.
yeah,
And George remember, or President Weah remember that both for you and Cyrus, in doing his early career, you guys commentated on him a lot,
yeah.
and he knows very well that he acknowledges everything that all of you did. And so it's a whole legacy by itself. But what I want to know here is that if someone were to ask you, why is broadcast journalism is so good as a profession for anybody to pursue, what would you say?
Why you are able to talk to millions of people at the same time, and you're able to change their lives. That is if you know what you're doing. Now, if you don't know what you're doing, you can also cause a lot of trouble.
Mhm.
So, broadcast journalism is very important.
It's very important. Yes. Okay. So, can you highlight for us some of the awards or some of the things that you believe that you enjoy and that you can be proud of today and not regret at all being a broadcast journalist?
Well, maybe I would say I'd be in America today, probably. That's what probably, yeah.
Hmm.
And I was able to see I was able to see the world, I was able to see the continent, especially as a play-by-play announcer.
Hmm.
I was able to meet people, the late Nelson Mandela, and many presidents and queens, and not queens, but prime ministers, because of that job, because of the job as a broadcast journalist. Talk to them, interview them.
It's good. And what were some of the challenges for you your entire years of broadcasting, what were some of the challenges you came across? It could be in the workplace, or it could be any other challenge that you experienced that you would like to share. And how did you overcome those challenges?
First, getting into the profession was hard.
Hmm.
Uh, Broadcasting or journalism, I would say, or show business is a dog eat dog world. Everybody fighting each other, don't want you to come in, thinking that you're going to shine or outshine them. So you got to fight,
Mhm.
to get in. Then when you get in, the fighting starts again, of course. People think that, okay, the guy's here now. How can we make sure he doesn't outshine out? Well, okay, you man, he's not going to outshine you.
Mhm.
Do the best that you can at the broadcast.
Mhm.
And he will not outshine you. It was tough, but we were able to work hard and work very hard to get us to where we are.
Yes, yes. And that's hard work and dedication,
Yeah,
and meeting the challenges of, um, meeting the challenges in a pool of people, wanting to do the same thing, want to do their best. And so it becomes a challenge. And then how do you shine? How do you perfect your skill? And how do you pretty much come on top? And all of that take diligence, dedication, as well as focus and hours
hard work.
of discipline. And that's great to hear. Now, in the midst of all of these, you were very, very popular and known by many Liberians for um, your skills. Now, how did you balance all of that with your marriage? You have been married for 27 years to your sweetheart from high school, from what I understand, and you have two kids. You got many foster children. That seems like a whole lot on your plate, Mr. Manjoe.
Yeah, it seems like a whole lot of hard play too. You know? So I like to give her the credit to her.
Mhm.
I mean, Liberia is a tough place to be as a star. If you don't have the right person, you will not keep that marriage.
Yes.
And she has been there. She has been there tough through all the tough times. And so, like I said, the credit is to my wife Gwendolyn. She has done well.
Okay.
And even now, as you can tell, I'm not in good health. And for about 11 years now, and she's stuck by my side. So she's a good wife.
Yes. Yes, and that's that special thanks to Gwendolyn. It reaches to the hearts of every man who are listening, and every woman who are uh, listening right now. All the women, all the men that are listening right now, we know very well it is a very good thing to uh, put into practice that whole death do us part that we all vow during
Yeah,
marriage.
yeah.
And Gwen has been doing well. It was a congratulations to her for sticking by your side all along and continue to do that. And lastly, here, anything that you would like to tell young broadcasters? We have many young broadcasters now in our country, and they are watching, listening to you right now. what will be your advice to them as an encouragement?
Uh, we go back to hard work. Uh, Listen to advice from your older folks. Because what I understand now, when old broadcasters, yeah, listen to the young guys and tell them, what the you doing not correct. They tell us, oh, another way. I old broadcaster is doing that bad. Well, when we went to broadcasting, we did tell that to, oh, I was even crazy to tell them to Tommy Reeves. Every time he said something wrong, I listen and they help.
Mhm.
You know, record yourself, listen to your programs. Again, you just, you're not, don't be top heavy. Don't think you know it all because you get off the radio and enjoy your community, think that you are the best. No, always think that you are still learning.
Mhm.
And that was what I did all the time. When I want to go do play-by-play announcing of a game, I left a recorder at home so I could keep the recorder at my house. And when I got home, I listened to the whole broadcast again and find out where I made mistakes so that when I go back to the next game, I will be the correction.
Mhm.
And that helps a lot.
Yeah, that's good. Always good to listen. No matter how it is, it's good to always listen. Listening and doing what you listen to can also help you a whole lot. And that takes, self-discipline to do that. Sometimes, pride kicks in and it is hard for some people to listen, but
Yeah.
it's always good to listen. That's good. Well, it was nice reaching out to you, and we appreciate your time to speak with us, highlighting your legacy in broadcast journalism. And we thank you so much for the leadership of ALJA. We wish you well.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
Thank you. And that was Mr. Manjoe. Mr. Manjoe is a broadcast journalist, Liberian broadcast journalist, a veteran broadcast journalist. And we have been talking about his legacy. Um, And of course, those who are watching will see and his experience and mirror that with what they are now doing in broadcast journalism. And from this end, we'd like to say thank you so much for watching.